Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is a review of my Ruger 2245 Mark III. The reason why it's the Mark III is because it's the third generation, and the reason why it's the 2245 is because it is a training option for the 1911, which is chambered in 45, so 2245. Um, to me, it's not very good training. Uh, Not that I have a 1911, not that I want to train for a 1911, but I think I would probably, if I were going to train for it, Ruger is a good option if you do a few things to it, but especially a Mark II. But I would probably prefer just getting a 22 upper. Kimmer makes a really nice one. Um, but to me, this is just primarily plink and cheap fun. You $20 on ammo. You grab your rifle. You go out in the woods, build a fire, have some hot dogs, have some fun, shoot some things up. At the cost of about $40 for a day out in the woods. It's a lot cheaper than other things that you can do. That's for sure. And it's just about as fun as anything you can do too. To me, anyways, that's my opinion. Uh, the reason why it is a Mark III is because it's the third generation. Um, and I already told you the 45 is a target barrel, uh, adjustable sights, the removable rail. It's pretty sweet. If I had to change anything about it, well, I'd make it a lot easier to take apart. This is a pain in the butt to take apart. Um, the magazine disconnect sucks. It pushes up against the gun and makes it hard for the magazine to eject freely. The slide release, when you have a new round or a new magazine ready to go in there, you can't pull back on the slide to release it. You have to actually use the slide release mechanism, which to me is alright. It's fine. It's just plinking, but it's not good training. I've heard some people say it's good to train. Just pull back on the slide. It's a bigger piece to get your hand on. It's not such a small operation. It's not a delicate operation. You just pull back on the slide, rack that next round in. Uh, but me, no, I've always used the the slide release on all my pistols. I've never trained for anything tactical. About as least tactical as it can get. I do like tactical stuff, but I'm not trained in it, so I don't pretend that I know what I'm doing. I'm just, I'm learning like the most of you guys are out there. Um, yeah, so plinking pretty much, cheap plinking. Um, I don't think it's a collector piece. Maybe the Mark threes or Mark ones. I'm not sure, but I don't think these Mark threes are going to be collector items. They have too many lawyer things on them. Um, you can accessorize these things, to your likings. They have fluted. You can buy it with fluted barrels, slab sides. You can buy them. You can actually make this pistol pretty light. Right now, it's on the heavier side because it's training for 1911, which they're in the 30 ounces. So I believe this one's 32. Um, any other options from Ruger doesn't get too lighter. Actually, there's some ones that get heavier, like just the plain Mark threes. They they have a steel, or they have a alloy frame, so which makes it 10 ounces heavier. um, so I don't know why you'd go with that one, just unless you wanted the steel frame. And I can't bash you for that. Steel frames are good. Um, I have nothing against polymer, but I do believe aluminum frames are equally as good, and their longevity probably might even be more. Not quite sure. There's debates on there how long polymer will last, and most people tell me, scientists, that it will last me longer than I'll be shooting the gun. So that's fine with me. That's long enough. Sorry, kids. But Yeah, the ergos on this thing, like I said, they're trying to copy it. 1911, they come pretty close. These Mark threes are skinnier, thinner. The thinner this way. Well, at least where are you? It's thinner here. The grips are fatter on the Mark twos. Mark two, I believe, doesn't have the magazine disconnect and all that. Like I said, these things are all real hard to take down. But as far as the ergos go, yeah, everything fits where it needs to be. The magazine release slide, I can all grab it. It's not awkward at all. I'm not a huge safety guy, but I will have my kids, or not my kids, my nieces and nephews shooting on this gun. So the safety is kind of a bonus. You know, I like to teach them that their biggest safety is their minds, and the second biggest safety is not pulling the trigger. Speaking of, you can dry fire this gun, so it has a firing pin stop. The firing pin can't go all the way forward and create damage. Ruger's smart, they did that on their 1022 too. This is a very reliable gun. I have had no issues with it at all, but I mainly shot Federal Eagle 22, and actually all my guns like that, all my 22s like that. I've had a Walther that ate it up. I've shot through all my 1022s, had no problems, and I just have another little Bolt 22, little Cricket, so that thing eats anything. It's just because it's manual operation. But so the reliability of this thing, you shouldn't have a problem. If you have a problem, it's unique to your gun. I've never heard too many people have any issues with their gun. The price you can get into this gun for $300, even less. I paid $270, so it's not expensive at all. It'll save you money in the long run. You just, instead of shooting big caliber all the time, just pick up a box of 22, and when you're done shooting the big caliber and your pocket hurts, pull this out and you still have hours of fun. The biggest issue for this gun, I think, that turns people away is they're scared to take it down. It's not that big of an issue. It is a headache, but I've done it, so anybody can do it. This in particular gun is probably one of the hardest ones I've seen to take apart. You have to get a rubber mallet to get the barrel off. Let's take it apart. Heck with it. I got a couple items over here I can take it apart with. First, I'm going to show you the disconnect on the magazine. It sucks. I'm going to pop all the way out freely because they got a disconnect sitting in there. You can take it out by buying Mark 22 piece and gunsmith it yourself. It's pretty cheap. I hear a lot of people do it, and that's probably going to be my option. Another thing that sucks about the Mark III is when you want to chamber another round on a locked slide, most guns you can just pull that back, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure a 1911 you can just pull that back, right? This one, you gotta use the slide. Release. Clearing it. Gun's cleared. Okay, now let's take this baby down. This is scary. I want to get this. As a matter of fact, this is really easy to empty. Hold it upside down. Empty, empty, empty. Bye-bye bullets. More bullets on the table. Okay. To make the mag seat, a lot of people just pound on their guns to try to get up there. You just gotta push forward a little bit. It's really easy. That's a problem a lot of people say is with this gun, but if you actually just push it forward instead of pushing it up, it seats really nicely. Okay, here we go. First things first, safe direction, safety off, nothing in the chamber. Once again, pull the trigger, and there's a tab here, which is probably not the best camera to be doing detail field strips, but it is what it is. That's all I got. What's the freaking issue? Magazine gotta be out. Oh, see? Here we go. And I've never been able to pull this straight out. And I won't this time. Some people can just pull that straight out. I've never been able to. I gotta use a punch. And I'll be back on the camera in just a second. There we go. And I don't know if you can see that, but I've scraped on each side my very first time taking this apart, because what you have to punch is actually rounded off, which they had an indent on there, especially if you have to use a punch for it. Jesus. Anyways, that's off. Pull that out. Slide comes straight out, and that's pretty much all you need to do to get to the barrel. You know, breach in. Best way to clean it. But some people can push on their gun and take it right off the frame, right off. And I guess Ruger says if you do it long enough, eventually your gun will be able to get taken apart by hand, but it hasn't been the case for me. As a matter of fact, one time I slammed on this bitch and it flew across the garage and bounced around on the cement a couple times. No major damage to it though, but straight down. Yeah, you have a freaking hammer to take your gun apart. Bullshit, Ruger. If it doesn't get easier, I'm gonna probably just stone a couple of these parts and try to get the tolerances a little looser. But I believe that it's probably why it's a very accurate and very reliable gun. It's just the tight tolerances that it has in it, and you really don't need to take it down a whole lot, you know, a few times a year. So it's not that big of an issue. You start taking this stuff apart too, but no reason to get everything with a screwdriver or a screwdriver toothbrush and just spray it in there. There's not a whole lot of parts that you need to be worried about in there getting detail cleaned. This thing is really starting to hurt my pride. Take 11. It's not a very easy gun to field strip, so for a gun for stuff hits the fan, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it because 22 is no good ground for stopping power. Anyways, make sure the hammer's flush. Pop this bad boy in there. 11 takes, that's ridiculous. I'm starting to get frustrated and it just makes it harder. Okay. Pop that slide in there. Pop that slide in there. Okay. Magazine in. And disconnect. Pull the trigger. Push the hammer all the way forward. Okay, there's a little guy swinging in there. Make sure it's hanging downwards. And you pop this pin in there. I don't know if you have to take out the magazine, but it helps me if I just take it in and out every now and again. One day it'll go together. Okay, baby. Yes, everything is good so far. Where you swinging? I see him. Okay. Now. Okay. Shake it so that thing is hanging down. It's actually got to sit in this little groove right there. Okay. Yeah, it's in there. Put the magazine in. Pull the trigger. And safe direction. Oh!